Squirrels! So hello, and welcome to another Legends of Runeterra video. My name is Chris, and today we are playing a blast from the past. This, for those of you who don't know, was perhaps the best deck in the game for some time. Before, you know, it got various nerfs and it kind of disappeared a bit and people moved on to new stuff. But I thought, you know what? Let's revisit it. Let's go back in time and revisit this blast from the past. As I'm not sure if that went weird for you, but in my ears it very much did. The game audio kind of cut out there, but anyway, what is this deck? Essentially, it's a turbo level Sejuani deck. The idea is to level up Sejuani to get her powerful effect off as early as we can, and you know, stop Frostpoint buying their board and you know, being a threat as well. And it's kind of a mid-range deck, I would call it overall, but you know, with some sort of more aggressive elements to it, you could say. And yeah, various cards got nerfed from this list. Stuff like Yordle Grifter getting nerfed, Troll Chant, Petty Officer, Make It Rain. You know, all these cards saw various nerfs, and that kind of brought the list down. But then we've also had some buffs and new cards come in since as well, like Crackshot Corsair. I think has been buffed since this was played. Fortune Croaker is a new card that I think works on the list pretty well to keep you going and cycling through the deck. You've got Jack the Winner as well, obviously a good way of damaging the opposing Nexus on various turns as well. And this is the list that I've created. Now there are some oddities in here, some, you know, like this I think is one that it's worth talking about. 2 Island Navigator, 1 Zap. Yordle Grifter is a very important card in the deck, and it is very good in the deck, so that's why that's a 3 off. You don't want too many 4-drops, of course, so why 2 Navigator, 1 Zap? Why not just 3 Navigator, or just, you know, 3 Zap? Well, of course, with Misfortune, Island Navigator is really, really good. I shouldn't need to explain that too much. I'm sure in the Scouts deck you've all seen this combo work pretty well. And Zap Sprayfin, well, when you don't have Misfortune, Island Navigator just isn't that great, essentially. And so we put in a Zap Sprayfin instead because we like having 6 4-drops, as you know, it's kind of a crucial turn for the deck. We still want to be, you know, developing on the board on that turn. But Island Navigator can feel a bit clunky, and obviously Zap is a pretty good replacement. And that's kind of, you know, just a little insight into some of the deck buildings, why you get one-offs in decks, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. So, with that said, let's get into some games and see how we do. Oh, before we do, nuts rating. I would say that this is actually a pretty solid list. It's done pretty well for me so far. It can, you know, has decent games against a lot of the top decks. So I would probably say that this is somewhere around a 7.5, something like that. 7, somewhere between 7 and 8, depending on exactly, you know, what you're facing, I suppose. So yeah, with that said, let's get into some games and see how we do. Taric Draven. This is a deck I'm pretty sure that tries to go like all in on them. So Troll Chant could be nice. Leveling up Sejuani could be really nice, but let's, I think we could aggro this deck down if we get fast enough there. Crackshot being 2 health does allow us to play Croaker on turn 2. And if we find a Misfortune with Navigator, then we could be in for a very, very good game. This deck is going to be, I mean, fairly combat focused, I would have thought, so Troll Chant might come in pretty useful. And yeah, if we can level up Sejuani, then we should just win on the spot if we can get level Sejuani down. And there is Sejuani, so I'll say hello to our opponent.
Is he here yet?
I actually think I am going to attack. Crazy as it might seem, I think, considering we drew the Sejuani, I actually really do want to level it up. Now, we can't play the Croaker. It's kind of a trade-off. I'm kind of hoping for a decent draw. We find probably a perfect draw, you could say. And we also get to Troll Chant now in case of any threats. So we know Draven is probably coming down right now, considering he played Draven's biggest fan, of course. So we know either Draven was already in the hand or he drew Draven at the top. It looked like Draven was already in the hand there. Let's see if he wants to trade. I would have thought he wouldn't want to.
For you.
Does he have second Draven? I think we want to keep this alive. I think... yeah, there's no way he can stop that, so yeah. He can, like, pale and keep it alive, but he can't kill the Misfortune. And considering we've got Navigator, I think having Misfortune down is really, really good. So he uses his survival skills there. That's fine. He also gets an axe attack off. But I'm actually okay with this because, you know, we could potentially even level Misfortune here. Fine, Butcher.
Let's boogie.
He might even axe this now to level him up. He will. But second Draven's biggest fan, it looks like.
Money makers.
I won't block because there's no need. He does level Draven up. But I think our next attack could be very, very damaging to him. Just out and navigate. See what we get. Ooh, an elusive. Even better. Just ends the round, so nothing from him. So now obviously we open attack first. This being, you know, an elusive as well is really helpful because it means, you know, no matter what, I'm not sure this deck runs any elusives. It might have a Sparkle Fly in there. Goes for Sharpen Resolve now.
This is gonna hurt for you.
Now he's gonna try and combo one to him, thought. So I'm guessing we want bigger units down, so he can't do that. I mean, it's only on 1 health though, so I could just go in here. Like I could go 1, 2, 3, go wide and go pretty big on him. You're on 3, so if I play Jack now, I would be able to get 4. And then 5. Oh man, that's an interesting choice, because I could just go all in now. He probably has another combat trick. But I like going wide here, I think. Let's go wide.
Don't know much, do ya?
Do I attack with Fortune as well?
Fresh out of mercy.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Hey, buddy, what you doing?
He could have survival skills. I'm very aware of that. Survival skills and Whirling Death would be the problem, I guess. But he's going down to 6. And then next turn, if he develops at all, I should be good. Because I'll just play Sejuani. And then, yeah, hopefully we can just go wide and find the damage. And it's unlikely he's going to be able to do 16. I will block to save the 2 damage.
Axes coming right up.
Does attack. So unless he has like Shunpo, something weird.
Now
Goes for an
we're
axe on
cooking.
an axe. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can just take 5 then. Take 5. Yes, that's fine. Now what do you go for though? I mean, if I pass, I've got 5 damage. I think I actually go Navigator. That's actually not a bad get. And he surrenders, yeah. So, yeah, it's kind of like a turn, you know, they try and kill you in 1 turn, but if they can't get it, it's a pretty bad deck. Okay, Feel the Rush. It's an interesting matchup. I don't mind Troll Chant. I'm not in love with Petty Officer because of the 1 health and the Withering Whale opportunities. Misfortune is better, and I like Corsair as well, because it survives Val Feast. And also provides some nice early pressure. If we could find Really, any 2-drop would be nice. But looks like we have to settle for Troll Chant. But it does mean we can survive an avalanche here. Avalanche is, you know, we won't deal with our misfortune. Just gonna play Wording Stones. Blocked. It's going down to 1, so I could always go for a Make It Rain at some point and deal with that. The misfortunes make it rain. So we're likely to see something like Trundle. Ooh, good top deck. Yeah, we do see Trundle. Hopefully we can find something like an elusive here.
Dangerous waters.
Sparring Student, not the worst. And we can buff that Sparring Student up quite a lot, actually. See what he goes for. Vile Feast. I want to Troll Chant you then. You can become a pretty big... Like, if I just go for this, you're already a 3-3. Yeah, I think you are worth it. I have what, 5 mana, so I can't do this yet, so I might as well go for the 1 cost, I guess. Find Sketcher again, not ideal. Straight up Vengeance. Okay.
I'll be damned. This is our way.
Nothing's tougher than a troll.
Goes for the Island Navigator. Which puts it down on 3, which gives me an attack with you. Save it. No, it's not worth the save, I don't think.
Turn me to this.
I will play this, I think, though.
Don't ask where it's from. Ask how much.
Harrowing. We found Harrowing? Okay. That's interesting. Do I want to get rid of you? Let's just attack with all, I think. Yeah, and you.
On the trigger.
Yeah, let's go for
Got
it.
us covered.
They look angry.
Down on 6 already. We have this Harrowing as well, which is potentially like a massive threat. It's probably the best thing I think we could have pulled from his deck. So we'll see. And he's down now to just 6 mana, which is nice as well.
Smashing.
Do I care about that at all? I don't think so. So we'll go for Jack now, I think. Here's the next turn. We could go both of these if we wished.
I promised a bloodbath.
He could Ruinate me. And he just surrendered. Yeah, we just got him. This deck puts on a lot of pressure. Oh man, it feels so good. I wanted to use the Harrowing though. Zoe Lee. This is something where, again, if we can get Sedwani leveled up, she could be very, very good. I don't love this as an opening hand. Make It Rain's an interesting one. You know, it could potentially kill Zoe. So I think I will keep it. But we do want some early options like this. Merchant in this matchup is okay because they run a lot of combat tricks. Combat tricks are decent for this deck, so that's actually not too bad. We could even go for it straight away here if we want, which maybe we do. Yeah, it's a nice time to use it. And that's a pretty good get. What would that be? What would you think? What's like a Zenith Blade? Is that what that is? I'll block. We could see a Sunblessed Figure. Okay. So let's, I think, see what we get from you first. Sparring student. Now, sparring student could be an interesting buff here. Sparkle fly as well. Yes, sparring student. Let's play mentor.
And stop staring.
Fortunately, I don't have a great target for that. Although, I'm not sure... this is a target for that, I guess. If I wanted to go for it, which I'm not... I could do now. Make it a 3-2. Let's just go a bit wide on him here. Because now it becomes a 3-2 and it become a 5-4, which, you know, he could gem here, but then he's used a Sunblessed Vigor on this, so that's not a big deal. I mean, wow. And obviously we could have attacked with everything else as well, right? And just put massive pressure on. Stones was a good get.